All rise. Veuillez vous lever. The International Criminal Court is now in session. L'audience de la Cour pénale internationale est ouverte. Please be seated. Veuillez vous asseoir.
Thank you very much. Court officer, please call the case.
Bonjour.
The court officer, good morning. Situation in the Republic of Kenya. Case: the prosecutor versus William Samuel Ruto and Yashua Adap Sang. ICC 0109-0111. We are in open session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appearances remain the same?
For the prosecution, Your Honor, yes.
Defense?
For the defense of Mr. Ruto, Your Honor, yes.
For Mr. Sang, Mr. President, I am joined by Judy Miongi, our case manager.
Thank you.
We remain the same, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. We want first to attend to some housekeeping matters before we invite the witness back into the courtroom. For some of these housekeeping matters, we will be in the open session, and for some I anticipate we may go into private session as we've received some requests from the prosecution, I understand, to discuss certain things. First of all, as regards the things we can attend to in the open session, Mr. Khan, you will be completing your cross-examination within the hour, you said.
Well, Your Honor, overnight we've discussed further with my learned friend, lead counsel for Mr. Sang, and what we will do, because we've redistributed certain issues, we will honour our promise that my learned friend gave, that will be finished with this witness today, and we anticipate that will, with more than enough time for the prosecution in the event they have anything to ask in re-examination. So this witness will be finished today, Your Honor. But, Your Honor, because of the redistribution, I may well take longer, and in fact I anticipate I will take longer than the hour, but cumulatively there will be no change between the two teams.
Mr. Kikinkatwa?
I confirm that is the arrangement we have, Mr. President.
Of course, much depends on the prosecution's possibility of re-examination. So far, Mr. Mofade, do you see that so far you will be re-examining?
Your Honours, as we see it at the moment, there are a few discrete issues that we might want to explore in re-examination. Of course, I don't know how the rest of Mr. Khan's cross-examination will pan out, nor do I know how Mr. Kiginkatwa's will pan out. But we anticipate that whatever time is remaining, this is something we should be able to clear up in about 30 minutes.
But are you saying, are you anticipating the remainder of Mr. Khan's cross-examination and Mr. Kiginkatwa's in that rough estimate you've given?
The estimate is based on what's been explored so far.
That leads us to the second issue, which is the Victims and Witnesses Unit need, of course, to plan ahead whether there is a need for them to bring the next witness within the premises on standby. See Mr. Khan shaking his head. I take it Mr. Kiginkatwa too.
Mr. President, I think it's very unlikely that we could take another witness today.
And if it helps, I share the view expressed opposite.
So then we can reassure the VWU that they need not bring another witness to the premises and stand by. All right. With that cleared up, is there anything else we can safely discuss in the public session? A matter of housekeeping.
There is, Your Honours, the witness order that I provided yesterday morning. We did say that we've managed to accommodate some of the requests of the defence and find 3 further witnesses who are able to fill the gap provided by 356. The order that I provided yesterday was 487, 535, and then 268, if there's time left. Now, in the course of yesterday, we gleaned certain information that leads us to believe that 535 will no longer be the second in line, rather it will be 268. So the order doesn't change that much. Well, the number of witnesses doesn't change. The witnesses themselves don't change. It's just the order in which we call them. So it would now be 487, 268, and 535 if there's enough time left in this session.
Does that not accentuate Mr. Kiginkatwa's anxiety? We'll let him speak for himself, of course.
It very much does, Mr. President. I had hoped that they could even put him further down the list. The situation becomes very aggravated when he's moved up, Mr. President.
So your concern was that as things were yesterday, by the prosecution's revision as of yesterday, 268 would have posed a problem if he, or I don't know if it's a he or she, if that witness had come as a third witness indicated. But now that the witness is being moved up to be the second, that would make matters worse for you, is that it?
Yes, Mr. President, I'm worse off.
Well, the fact of the matter, Your Honours, is there are too many competing interests. And if the prosecution has to bend over further backwards, we'll actually be flat on our backs. We've managed to accommodate the defence to the extent that 356 is one that they prefer not to deal with in this session. We've provided 535. Unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond our control, we're unable to proceed with that witness. What we're trying to do is to balance the expeditiousness of the proceedings by trying to ensure that we deal with as many witnesses as possible within this session, and at the same time accommodate my friends for the defence. So 487 is a certainty. Apparently there's no difficulty. The only difficulty seriously seems to be that Mr. Kiginkatwa's team alone has difficulties with 268. Now, this is a witness whose statement has been disclosed well in advance. I can't see any reason why they shouldn't be able to proceed. And even as we speak, I look at the calendar, and I think we're still giving at least 3 weeks' notice to Mr. Kiginkatwa that this witness, who's a very, very narrow witness, a crime-based witness, that this witness will proceed.
When did you disclose a statement of 268 to the defence?
Would you honest forgive me, I'll just consult. Your Honours, I'm told that the statement was disclosed on the 30th of November, which is almost a year ago, and a further lesser redacted version was disclosed in April this year. So it bears a reason that there's adequate time being provided to Mr. Kiginkatwa and his team to explore what they need to explore with this witness.
Mr. President.
Mr. Katwa?
Yes. Mr. President, on reconsideration and in consultation with Ruto's team, I do not want to stand out as being a difficulty on this issue, and we can proceed as proposed by the prosecution, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. It's good to have that matter resolved and cleared up. So we will then proceed in the order indicated.
I'm grateful, Your Honor.
Is there anything else we need to discuss in open session? We may safely discuss in open session.
The other matters, Your Honors, need to be discussed in private session.
So we'll go into private session then for the next phase of the discussion.